May is Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to shine a light on the importance of emotional well-being and the tools that can help us stay grounded.
All right, today we're introducing you to a Detroit native turned her own journey into a source of healing for others through her line of journals designed to encourage self-reflection, mindfulness, and mental clarity.
That's right, and joining us now is Candace Cox-Wimberley, a literary artist and wellness educator and founder of I Am a Genius Journals, which is super exciting. Thank you so much for being with us.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
To have you, because this is so important, Candace, and I love that we have a month dedicated to really focusing on what this means and reducing the stigma at the same time.
Absolutely.
But what inspired you to create these journals? Does this come from a personal place or experience?
You know, it absolutely does, and it continues to grow over time. You know, I like to say I'm a vessel being used, right? I initially started with my first baby here, my I Am a Genius, a career journal. And that was back in 2017, being able to have instrumental tools to help young people prepare for life after college or life after high school, right? So post-secondary educational tools. But not only that, I knew it was important to be able to give them a space to journal their thoughts without being judged by their friends or their parents and what they wanted to do with their lives. So that was the beginning of that, and then all of these have their own individual story.
I love it.
So who is the journaling for? Is it something that can be helpful to all ages or all backgrounds?
Absolutely. Journaling, I feel, is for everybody. You know, just like therapy can be for everyone, right? It's just a matter of taking the time, being able to give it a shot. And it may work differently for everyone, you know, but I believe that it's available for a young person. It's also available for adults. And I've learned and seen some of the greatest share that they journal, and they keep it, you know, as reflections, as history, you know, and it's essentially your own book, your own story of your life.
True. It's like going back and listening to what your younger self, whether it was 6 years or 6 months ago, what you were feeling at that time. It kind of gauges your growth at the same time. So let's not make everybody wait any longer. Walk us through the journals that you brought in. Show us some of the examples.
Okay. So right now what we have is a variety of our wellness series, which is 9 different journals, okay? So they're affirmative messaging on the front. You have the Building My Confidence, I Am Valuable, Getting My Prayer Lives Together, and I even did something for the guys.
Okay.
I Am the Man.
All
okay,
right,
and they love it because men don't often journal. You know, it's
so
a huge stigma.
That is beautiful that you created that space. Use Jason, I'm the man. What's up?
You know, it's crazy because just the other day, like, you know, there's a journaling app and it popped up and I was thinking to myself, like, who uses this? So I really did start to do a minute amount of research.
Yeah.
This is interesting, like, to really, like you said, to look back on things or moments that have happened in your life. It's interesting.
And I often hear, you know, just like, you know, anything else, you continue to do it and it becomes a habit, you know, and it becomes something you do daily. But what I have done with the journals, because I've been encouraged, do it digital, but I've been dedicated to keeping it here because it's an opportunity to unplug from the social media, to be able to tap in and go inwardly to work, you know, and eliminate different stressors, be able to tap into your higher self, higher being, help raise the vibration of whatever you may be feeling. So I stick to doing the journaling for people to be able to have that space and create that.
I think there's something so different about writing, your pen to paper, as opposed to just typing, which I do both, I'll be honest with you, but it's just different, like I said, when you're writing it out.
No, for sure. There's something about the actual physical act of writing that we've forgotten about.
That's true.
Now, how can people incorporate journaling into their daily life routine? I mean, you know, it's hard to get into something like this if you're new to it.
That's true. That's true. I have this conversation often with a lot of clients. You know, I am that person that breaks the cherry for them, you know, breaking them into the whole realm. And one thing is just like brushing your teeth. You know, brushing your teeth isn't a hobby. It's a daily thing, right? And exercising. It's not necessarily, it starts a certain kind of way, but then you continue to do it, you push forward because you see the results. And just like journaling, take it one day at a time. You know, it might be 1 minute at a time. You know, you might just say in segments, you know, I'm just going to journal for 5 minutes each day. Then it might grow. I found myself, I was like, I'm just going to do 1 page, and I'm on page 10,
Right.
you know, and my hand is cramping up. But I've heard people share that have never journaled before. They appreciate the opportunity where they can come to it. They may not do it daily. They might do it monthly. I have a friend who, you know, is a male, and he has a family. He says, you know, I have to keep a lot in. I'm always I'm ripping and running, but I picked up my journal the other day and I felt so much better. I was relieved. So,
love it.
yes.
Love it. Okay, so listen, summer is around the corner. So do you have any tips for parents or teachers looking to introduce journaling to younger kids?
Absolutely. So one of the things that is one of our #1 sellers is our gratitude journal. It's included with different props inside of it where you have tips and pointers, but it also helps you for the beginner. You know, if you never journal, space to write what you're grateful for each day, as well as inspirational, mindful practices. Then we also have our career journal, and of course that's guided as well. And inside of this one, we have an opportunity for you to see the different options and career options and choices. And I would recommend anyone that is going to be taking the time with their young person to be able to approach it without judgment. Allow them to feel the space and comfort to just be. You know, they might be one line, one page.
All right, we love it, Candace. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing attention to mental well-being. We really appreciate you. And how can people follow you on social media, real quick?
Please find me on IamAgenius.net. That's our website, and all the social media handlers is at the bottom. But you can also find me on Candace Cox, W.
Wonderful. Thank you again.